Okay guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you've not been before. So today is finishing off the port wing today on this episode, and if you may remember that in part 3 we had a bit of a nightmare with the we had a bit of a nightmare with the undercarriage. And so what we are going to do today is we're going to look at finishing off the port wing, and then if time allows we'll get the we'll make a start on the starboard wing. Okay, so that's the plan. So at the minute I'm just trying to so what I'm doing at the minute is I've got the exhaust what I've done is I've got the exhaust all off, and I'm going to glue these in. So just bear with me. I'll go and get my plastic magic out. And I'll get my tweezers out as well, because I'm going to need those. So what we get, this is and there we go. Right. Now then, we've now got to find part F9. Which is this part here where my finger is. So I'm just going to put the light on a minute, because yeah. Yeah, hopefully that will have a bit of extra light. Okay, so what we need is this one here. And we'll just give that a bit of a Now let's see how it goes in, because it should go in like that. So there we go. Right, that's it. That's how it should go. So what we do is put some glue and that is one, should be one set of, and that is one set of exhaust all done. Okay, we want part A7 now, and which is this part here where my fingers are. So we're going to get that off. So we've now got now, and as we're not putting on the undercarriage in, these bits, these little bits here where got the tweezers, they need to be cut off. So what we'll do, I'll just show you, because it does say on the instructions here, step 47, that they do need to be cut off so that we can put these parts in. Okay, so we've got to cut those off now. Okay. There we go. Right, now then. So that goes through, so they go through there like so. So yeah, so now they go in. So that goes in there like so. So let's put some glue. Let's put some glue on this top part, and then hopefully so there we have it. So the exhausts are in. Now if we turn the page over, we've got to repeat the whole process again for the other half of the nacelle. So this time we want part F25 and F28. Which are these two parts here. So I'm just getting those out of the way for a minute. So again, so there we go. They all and so what we want now is part F12, which is this one here. Now, so that glue is okay. So now we want, so that's all in. So now what we want is part A6. Which is, so we're going back 7654 on frame A, and then that would be, and then once these are off, that would be frame A all finished. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get that off now. And as we did before with there we go. Right, now then, we've got to make sure so there we go. So there you have it. There's the exhaust in for both sides of the port nacelle, port engine nacelle. Okay. Okay, got these two parts off now. Okay, now although they're not going to get seen, they will help provide a bit of strength to the nacelles when we actually put them on the wing. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. We're going to insert these, and So there's one, and the other one goes at the back, goes just at the back here. Okay. So and I think just to be safe we'll put a bit of extra glue in behind there. Okay, so we'll leave those to dry, and we now go and get parts F7 and F8. Okay. Which are these two parts here. See, there we go. Right, now then, let's go. First of all, we go and get the nubs off. Okay, right, now there's a... That's the best I'm going to do with that. Now then. So, good job. And then what we can do is just put a bit of glue on there. Right, there's that in. And then what that does, that goes in there, like. That goes in there like so. Actually, See, does that... Does that actually go in the wrong way? No, it doesn't, does it? So... So I think we've got that in as best we can. I think. I think that obviously goes in there like so. So I think that goes... Yeah, that's not going to go in any further, so that goes in there. That goes in there like so. So what we can now do is to get the So what we can now do is go and get the glue the nacelle together. So let's do that, shall we? Okay. So I think this is where we might need a bit of masking tape. So let's get a little bit of masking tape for that front part. So I think, yeah, that needs to go back in there like so. Ah, damn it. And no matter what people about say not gluing, I'm going to glue it anyway. So that is pretty much the nacelle all done now, except for putting on a few bits and pieces. Okay, so the next part in to go on is this part here. And that goes there. So that's that bit there, right. Now then, we want, if I just put the engine nacelle in the direction where it's showing on the instructions, we need to go and get part F11 off, which is this part here. So we've got it off. Now, as I've got a bit of a few chunky fingers, it's got them out. So I'll put a bit of glue in here. Get my tweezers. And there you have it. That's that part in. Now we've got to get part F10 in, which goes on the opposite side. There we go. And then so we're nearly there with the engine nacelle. So what we need to do now is to go and get part F21 and F22 off, which are these two parts here. Oh no, got the wrong one. Got the wrong ones off. No, get the other ones off because yeah, I got the wrong ones off. So we're gonna get we'll do them both at the same time. Then when we come to do the port, no, not the port wing, the starboard wing, we can so what we do is we just stick that one there. And we'll do the same for this one as well, but we'll keep it safe for when we do the starboard wing. That's the engineering intakes all glued together. but what we will do is we'll stick one on now. Just trying to figure out how this goes in. There we go. Right. So that is that done. Okay, we're going to put in part F34 now, which is this part here. And then, and only then can we say that we've done the engine nacelle. And that goes on just like a glove, it fits like a glove. I'll tell you what we will do, is get that all get this glued in. Put that on there. And there you go. And that is the port engine nacelle all done. Okay guys, there's just this little bit to go in before we can actually put the wing on. Okay, now I did have a choice. I could either paint, prime and paint it now, as you see, and then slide it into the wing, or then when I come to actually paint the wing, I'd have to go and mask off the gap. Okay, which I will have to do now. Or the other option was to go and slide it in and then try and get it in there with the brush, and then prime it and then paint it with a brush. But that is not possible, because you can see there, if you can just have a look at the gap, it's not big, it's not wide enough to go and get the brush in. So what we're going to do, now, so we're just going to put some glue at least along the top edge there, and we're just going to slide there we go, that's in. And we're just going to put a bit of glue along the edges there, so make sure that there we go, that's in. Okay, because you see what the problem is. I would have had a bit of a problem getting in there with a paint pen or a brush. Okay, so it would have been the best option to yeah, so it would have been the best option would have been to paint it before you actually put it in. So there we go. Right, as we've got the engine nacelle and the wing together, let's have a go at putting the nacelle on. And that actually goes like a glove. It really fits like a glove. Look at that. Gore. So what we're going to do is we'll put some glue in. And then there we go. Gore, that is brilliant. And then we can just we'll test fit this and see how it goes. Yeah, look at that. And then so okay, so what we'll do is we'll put some glue and there, and then that'll be once we've put the port wing on. Oh, hang on. There we go, that is the port wing onto the aircraft. Okay. Well guys, that's it for this episode. Thanks ever so much for watching. Okay, so at least we've managed to go and try and get the port wing on. Okay, so okay, because obviously now that we're going to not put the undercarriage in, it just begs the question about where on the aircraft do I actually put the stand. Now my first thought is to actually put it just there between the two camera ports, drill out a few holes between the two camera ports and stick it in there, or just to stick it somewhere in where the bomb bay is. Okay, so that would be my, because obviously I want to put it onto the stand, but where It's just somewhere around about there where I need to put it, I think. So if you could just let me know in the comments, please, about that. Okay. So let me know in the comments about that, please. That would be brilliant. Okay, so that would be something to do. Okay, so there we go. That's that done. Now the other thing is I've deliberately left off the propeller for the port wing for a very good reason. Is that you can see here that I've actually written leave until later. Okay, so hopefully in the next episode, once we've got the starboard wing on, the hope is to actually go and get both, to do steps 91 and 92 along with 55 and 56, to get them both done, and then get them both done a bit later, towards the end of the build. Okay, so that's that done. Okay, so that will be the plan. So anyway, in the next episode we'll be working on the starboard wing, so do join me for that on Sunday. But in the meantime, guys, if you've liked the video, give it a thumbs up, why don't you, and comment, subscribe and share as well, because that it all goes to help grow the channel. Okay, so in the meantime, guys, have whatever it is you're doing for the rest of the week, have a great week, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye bye.